Hello, and again, from the Iris room, a warm welcome back. I don't know if you had the time to have a little coffee. We're going to have a bigger break after this next session. Don't forget also to network. I told you, really, there is also networking until 6:35 in the cyber room. Of course, cyber room. And also, you know that the swap card app is allowing you, when you are registered, to have a lot of contacts with the speakers, with the hosts, but also with your colleagues. Obviously, I told you it is all about togetherness, so be together also on the app. And yes, I think if you're all set, we can slowly move to the next session. I'm really very happy now to have the session Istanbul to Berlin. And with me on stage, preparing the presentation, this is all very, you know, like last minute and spontaneous and etc. So we have here Özcan Ertek with us, and it's really great to have him. You know, he's a very special person, an underground sound artist who immigrated to Berlin. And for his presentation now, he's going to share his journey, probably from a micro to a macro perspective. And we're going to hear together his experience and how he became part of the music scene here in Berlin, and how also he's giving back to the community. So I'm really glad to have him with me on stage. We have 2-meter distance, yes, we are, and you're ready to go? This is wonderful. So you have, well, a small little half an hour with us, Jan. Make the most of it. Thank you very much.
Hello, my name is Özcan Ertek. Yeah, right now I am showing you my first concert in Istanbul. And this was like happened after I started to make music with computers and sound interfaces around like 2009 or 10. Actually, I started making music by like playing bass guitar in punk bands. Then I realized that there is this like a digital audio workstation technology, and I can buy myself a sound interface and I can make music with it. And I can even play this music to the other people in concert places in Istanbul, in Turkey. So this was my first concert, and I played. Actually, it was also like there was another thing. I was supporting a British artist called Chad Valley, and this was also important for me because it was my first concert, and I am playing with someone who comes from abroad. So I played my music, and it was like a starting of the story for me. Then I did some releases in Istanbul under the name of Sound Collage. The first release of mine was called Moonjang, and it consists of like 5 tracks. It was an ambient EP that I produced in my flat. And also the name of the EP was coming from a news that I read in a newspaper. Moonjang means that the trash that astronauts left in the moon. So, in the second EP that I released, named Bedroom Spirit, and it was also the name was referencing that I am producing music at my home in my bedroom. I have an internet. I can listen as much as music that I want. I can influence from other artists as much as I want, and I can make music and share it via internet whenever I want. So this was also an ambient EP that I produced. Before that, actually, Then the third concert of mine was in Berlin, actually. I came to Berlin and I played in Madame Cloud, which is like a really nice concert place owned by 3 French guys. And it was also surprising for me because it was my third show. And also it was the first time that I went to abroad. I was 22. And after I come back, I realized that, okay, I need to make music for my whole life. This is my path because I started it, I played my shows, and in my third show, I am playing in Berlin. And people are coming, and this is great. And after that, there was something nice, something else, which happened. Like I applied to Red Bull Music Academy in 2013, and I was accepted for that. Then I went to New York for 2 weeks, and I worked with like really good musicians like Brian Eno, Fortet, Flying Lotus. These people were the studio members of the academy, and of course my fellow participants from all around the world. We were 31 people, and we stayed there 2 weeks and make music together. After I come back from Red Bull Music Academy, actually, there was interesting time in Turkey because it was 2013. It was spring, and there was Gezi protests, and these protests actually changed the whole. It was not local, I think. It was also like global. It affected the lives of the people, both in Turkey, I think, also in the world. Because I was at the protests also, and after this protest, like nothing was like the same before, because it was a big political turmoil. It was a really big uprising. And after these events, the cultural scene in Turkey were like supported less and less, I would say. And but of course, this was not a reason for musicians and sound artists in Turkey, in Istanbul, to not to produce anything. Actually, it was the opposite. So it influenced artists in Turkey and in Istanbul more. And for me, it was also like that. And I reflected, for example, my feelings, my thoughts about this protest with a sound installation called Body Talk. And I continue to make music, actually, and release EPs. I changed my moniker from Sound Collage to Seratan because I also influenced from New York and from the people that I live there. And after that, I started to make with music, not just ambient music, but with a rhythm. So I add time domain to my music, actually, and I just not just play it for like produced for home listening. I was also like producing for also for the clubs. Yeah, this was like this was a little snippet from my music. It was electronic. It's electronic. It's experimental. It's sometimes you can listen it in the clubs. Sometimes you can listen it at home. It's in between, and it's changing. But as a musician, I also maybe like after like these protests and after like I continue to make music, I couldn't see myself just as a musician who produced music for concert places, for bars. I also started to saw myself as a sound artist, which produce sounds and listen the city in a politically looking to a sound in a political context, in a social context, and produce installations. And that was a time around like 2015, 2016, after I graduated from Istanbul Technical University Sound Engineering and Design Department. That was a time we started this project called Istanbul Soundscape project. And this project was about Istanbul, Acoustic Ecology of Istanbul. We were, as like me and like a group of another sound artists, we were going to the neighborhoods of Istanbul, gentrified neighborhoods, and we started to record the sounds of this neighborhood, because these neighborhoods were in Istanbul was under gentrification, under urban transformation, and there was a lot of minorities living in these neighborhoods. And in 5 years of time, they all had to move from these neighborhoods. So when you go into these streets, you could hear a different language, a Kurdish language, a Roman musician playing his or her instrument that you normally don't hear other parts of the city. So this was really important for us, and we thought that we can use sound to protect these neighborhoods, to protect the city from gentrification and urban transformation. And this was a time that we did this open call called A House in Tarlabaşı. And in the video you can see that a video installation about this neighborhood with the sounds and with the Google Maps view of the neighborhood, and it is like old buildings which about to demolish by a big company in Turkey who actually lost in the court but still continued its construction. So, and it was also another weird thing at those times. I was also living near this neighborhood that you could see the Google Street, panoramic Google Street view in all of the other parts of Istanbul, but not in this specific neighborhood. So it was a really weird and speculative thing for me. Like, who deleted the street view of this neighborhood? Like, it's like Google did it, or this company made something about it. So it was a really nice subject for a sound and video installation for me. And as you see, like these people, they still live there, and I still have actually like a contract flat there. I'm still subletting it. So when I go to Istanbul, I am still visiting this neighborhood to continue my research. And this was like a bazaar of this neighborhood. So I was like with my field recorder and with my camera, I was going into the bazaar, and I was also like try to hear the sounds of the streets. And in this installation, you can hear the voice of the sellers who is like try to impress the customers in the streets to earn some money to continue their living. But I should reply that this bazaar will also vanish soon. So if I like repeat again, my musical journey starts with experimental electronic music that I do at my home, that I produce at my home, playing sometimes bars and clubs, and once in Berlin, and once in New York. Then after I come back, because of the situation in Turkey, my view of sound, my perception of sound changed, and I started to do some other stuff for the galleries. But I was also like continue my experimental music career, like let's say not commercial but experimental electronic music, I would say. And this is a video clip that I produced like 3 or 4 years ago, which is about also about this neighborhood. And you see my flat there. I am searching for something in this video clip. It's a concert day, and I am searching for my synthesizer, but I cannot find it. And I have a concert. Then I wander around these streets of Tarlabaşı, of Ömer Hayyam, which is under gentrification and under urban transformation, which will vanish soon. And this synthesizer continued to its journey. It's like a lost journey in these shops of this neighborhood. So of course it was a metaphorical music video, and the story was not about just lost synthesizer. It was about the lost neighborhood, or the people who are losing their lives in this neighborhood. The story of the lost neighborhood. And the project continued, the city project, Istanbul Soundscape project continued, and it becomes, we also did another event this time about a really old railway station in Istanbul, which is designed by two German architects in 100 years ago, in Ottoman times. And this railway station called Haydarpaşa railway station, but it's still renovated, so the citizens of Istanbul can't use this railway station since 10 or 15 years. And there were news about this railway station that it will be sold by the government and a company will use it as a hotel or something. So of course this is also an acceptable thing for citizens of Istanbul. So we wanted to do something about this, and we did an open call. Hey, let's do a sound project about this railway station. Let's record some sounds. Let's record its acoustic ecology and present it in a concert. And the main motto of this Soundscape event was what were the sounds that we felt as a citizens in the city life in the absence of Haydarpaşa railway station. Because of course as citizens we are missing something, not just sounds, because we can also thought about this question a different way. What were the things that we were missing without in the absence of democracy, let's say, as a citizen in Turkey? And this event was a quite nice. 20 artists contributed with some of the works, some of the sound works, video works, like train sounds or transportation sounds, and the event was also nice. So the project continued with another event called Underground, which is about underground of Istanbul. It was just because after this event, there was a presidential elections in Turkey, and I think we almost lost, let's say, 100 years of democracy in Turkey in a one day with one election, and the 50% of people of Turkey, we were really sad about it, and it was quite dark times, but there was something to do, with sound and with music, and we did this event called Underground, and we say that as we see in science fiction movies or science fiction books, in every dystopia, when the character of this dystopia, the hero or the character of this dystopia, he or she meets someone in underground, meet a group who is still resisting. For example, if you watch Terminator or if you watch any other, or Matrix, there is Zion, right? So people who believes also freedom and democracy, they go underground and they are not maybe seen other people who is living upstairs, who is living on the ground. They are more dirty, more maybe wild and more anarchist. But when you meet with them, when you meet with it, then you realize the possibility of freedom and hope. And Istanbul is also a city which is founded onto this underground tunnels, this water sarnıcs. It's like from Byzantine times. So we went down to the underground, we recorded some sounds, and then we did a really nice soundscape event again, which was also in this like academic sound concept. And after this event, we did also another one. So my practice were continuing two ways, like sound and city politics, and experimental electronic music scene. And these events didn't stop for like 2 or 3 years. Every month we did something. And this was like another one, which we, as a artist of Istanbul, we came together with custom instruments that we created with, for example, with a sensor, with a moving sensor, or with lights, with this like a flashing light. You can produce sounds or network music, this kind of stuff. And we did this event called Experimental Electronics. But after that, it was like my journey continued in like I applied for an artist visa from Germany to come here, to go back. Like my third show was at Madame Cloud. With this connection, I thought that okay, like I can right now I can go back to Berlin and I can continue my practice there, because in Istanbul I did like I worked with like lots of people. It was nice. Now it's time to maybe bring this stuff to Berlin and also influence from the music scene of Berlin. And after I came to Berlin, the first thing that I did was composing a sound piece in my German Sprachschule, because every year lots of people coming to Germany with like lots of dreams and like hopes, and you can see these people in this like private language schools, and I was also there to learn German, and it was really interesting to hear other languages here. That's why I recorded these sounds and I created a sound installation. It was something that I was doing in Istanbul, but after I came here, I wanted to continue to produce this kind of works. And also another one, with this like a music collective Transference, we started to do this like events called Istanbul Electronics, because since like 2 or 3 years there are lots of artists also coming from Istanbul to Berlin to do their art, to meet with other artists. And it was the events that we started at Arco de Berlin, also a new place in Berlin. Like since 2 years, it's open, and there's also one in Arco in Istanbul. And we started to do this event called Istanbul Electronics, a night that stretch your knowledge about. A night that full of left-field experimental music that stretch your knowledge about Turkey's music scene. Because generally in Europe, the music in Turkey, like in Europe knows I think the music scene in Turkey good, like some part of it, with these psychedelic rocks, the psychedelic rock scene that came from 70s with Erkin Koray and some other musicians who also produce like adds these like Turkish, like Middle East tunes to their music, but there is also really left field experimental Western electronic music in Istanbul and in Turkey. So for us, as this like Transference Records, for us, our aim was to show this side of Turkey in Berlin, and also bring together other artists and do something like collaboratively. And yeah, I am coming to the end of my speech. I mean, this was like this journey is like still continues for me. I mean, like 5 years ago, like 4 years ago in Istanbul, the only thing that I knew those times was the next concert date of my project, because it was like at times that you don't feel generally, you don't feel secure. You couldn't feel secure those times. Maybe it still continues, and but the art, the music that I was doing those times, it was the only thing that I knew, and it was the only thing that I was secure with myself, and I continue to do it. And right now, this journey is like still continues, I think, and so I will see what will be happening also in near future and in the future. And thank you very much for listening.